Let's start off with the Kenya shilling, which the central bank appears to have taken a bit of a back burner there, not mopping up any liquidity for the past 2 days because it's doing quite well on its own.
Larry, my high school football coach told me, if it works, don't change it. Currently, it looks like where it is, we just need to keep it at those levels. But like you said, when we come into next week, because of end month activity, we'll expect a bit of adjustments, and we might see the CBK coming in again. So
at this point, the shilling is not broken, so there should be no need to fix it. Is what you're saying?
Yes, at this point, I'm comfortable, I'm happy, I'm smiling.
Excellent. It's a good thing when market watchers smile, right? Tell me, the 10-year bond results, not quite the performance some might have expected. That was out yesterday.
The interest rates came down a bit. Again, we had an 81% subscription. But if you look at it with the T-bills for the last with the T-bill auction that happened in the last week, we see that for the T-bill auction, the interest rates were actually up. I think this is just a reflection of investor preference for the T-bills as opposed to, I mean, it just shows that at the moment investors are preferring a particular niche for some duration of bonds.
Does that mean is that preference for shorter tenor bonds as opposed to, let's say, 182-day and longer?
I could say there's preference for the T-bills, not the bonds. I could say there's more preference for the T-bills right now, because again, if you look forward, it will bring the issue of we'll come into investment risk, interest risk, and so on and so forth. But I think there's more appetite for the shorter-term papers as opposed to the longer-term papers.
The Securities Exchange, and start off with the Kenya Airways rights debuting trading at the Securities Exchange despite the almost disappointing performance in the rights issue of just over 70% subscription.
Yeah, we had the market. I mean, it was a bit. It didn't come as a bit of a surprise to me because, again, if you look at Kenya Airways and airlines all over the world, they have a problem with return on equity. I don't know. They really don't give us as much ROE as an investor would expect. So it didn't come as much of a surprise to me, really.
What are the prospects for you for Kenya Airways? The competition is going to get a lot more intense, especially in the low-cost and budget carrier space. Fly 540 getting a huge injection of capital. At the same time, internationally and even on the African scene, there's a lot more African airlines. For instance, Korean Airlines starting to fly into Nairobi as well.
Larry, let's start with the internal business environment. We've seen two companies releasing their financial reports or giving a corporate statement. We have Kenol Kobil. They have said that they're going to have they are seeing a lower profit season, and we also have Kenya Airways that had a reduction in profit. When you look at those two companies, we see that the main, Centum, sorry, we had Centum saying that they're going to have a reduction in profit, that they had a reduction in profits. And the key thing was the financing cost. If you put that as a template and you bring it back into Kenya Airways case, then we are headed towards turbulent winds, because there will be the financing cost, then we'll have currency fluctuation. Then remember oil, we're headed into an election year. Really, I'm tepid towards it going forward.
You're tepid towards it, and that is not a good thing. On the other hand, Centum Investment, we've been discussing this over the past few days. Its profits dropped 40%. It did not issue a profit warning. And now today, the Capital Markets Authority has asked it to explain or given really an explanation why that did not happen. What do our investors, should they take notice of this?
We took note of it, but I took note of it. But again, Larry, some of these things happen because they gave the reason that they did not know until it was too late. So I really don't think it would have much bearing on the price going forward. Really, I don't see much. I think it's just a small issue that that needs to be ironed out, and we can move forward with doing business.
You seem to be right on that. On Centum Investment was the biggest gainer, the second biggest gainer at the market today, up 4.5%, closing at about 13 shillings and 95 cents. You talked about Kenol Kobil earlier. They've indicated today that next week they will give a lot more information on exactly how much stake they will be selling to Puma, what is the price of that, and it's really further indications. What can we expect ahead of that, and how is the share likely to perform?
Depending on the price vis-a-vis the current price of the market, then I would expect the market to, if the price that Puma Energy is buying is higher than what is currently in the market, then of course we expect it to lift up the market, because it will give us a valuation, you know. We'll get a more fairer, I would say more fairer valuation than what the market is giving us at the moment. But of course, if it's lower, then that price is also an indication that maybe in the market it is overpriced. So until I get the prices, I would not enter into a prediction game.
There appears to be a bit of excitement about Kenol Kobil, because also up just over 3% today, closing at 13 shillings and 45 cents. There it is on your screen. Look at the losers list for me and tell me whatever you can pick out. Sasini is the biggest loser of the market today. Kenya Re, Mumia Sugar, and Total. Any of these jump at you?
Maybe Total.
Why so?
Total for me, underperformer. I expect, since it's in the oil industry, it looks like it has actually lost its touch. It's lost its business touch. Kenol Kobil, a few years back, I think Total, when I was growing up, I had a Total t-shirt actually. Total then was the biggest, was one of the biggest oil firms. But you see, Kenol Kobil has come up and overtaken it. That really shows, that goes to show a lack of strategy, foresight, and I don't know.
So even the taking over of Chevron outlets in Nairobi and other parts of the country doesn't appear to have given it that jig you're talking about?
I'd go for Kenol Kobil in time.
You'll go for Kenol Kobil over Total. We hope you don't have your t-shirt anymore. Many thanks, Crispus Otieno, with us in Nairobi.